Okay, recap, and yes, we are finally back for the week of, well, the first week of February, right? I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I don't really have that much time, but all only thing that I'm trying to know is yes, price delivered to the targets this week, but the price action was so garbage. It's beyond me. And while then with these large range days, AL, rather than aiming for external range liquidity, aim for internal range liquidity or a set amount of points, right? My preferred with this market right now is probably going to be around 150. That's what I learned, right? So let's just quickly go over this, right? Monday, market opens up, goes all the way down, kind of creates relative equal lows, kind of, right? It does take, well, we knew it was going to take them two lows, right? But the market closed here. It opens up by taking them, right? Or makes relative equal lows, goes up, fills the new weekly opening gap, goes lower, and then comes back over the new weekly opening gap. 9:30 opens up, it shoots up, and eventually, before you know it, you have only this to trade to try to take up to these highs. There was nothing. Right, for me personally, I wouldn't like to take anything on that day, and that's what I did. I didn't take anything. We're already close to our targets. We already moved too much. It's also a Monday. I don't care, right? If you really wanted to take anything, and like I said, the only thing that's worth taking was when this retracement came to this obvious gap, right? We have relative equal highs alone other than these, and we just come to the gap, right? As you can see, all the way here, we invest this. You could take this as a, like, I don't know, a mini breaker, whatever, or you could just take this aggressively, right? As long as we just wick into it, look where the body's at. So, and again, look, even when it went up, look how it goes up and comes all the way down to here, and then just shoots up, right? It's just garbage delivery, right? Like, it didn't need to do all that. You know what I'm saying? That's not just typical market behavior. Regardless, it's a Monday. Don't care. Move on. Tuesday, this is the important day. On Tuesday, just looking at the daily when it closed, right? Like, regardless if you're bullish or bearish, right? Because at this point, if we come down to like how Monday closed, right? There's two scenarios really. I'd like to be bearish, but the market's not gonna offer what I like, so it doesn't matter, right? Because it could have went to the highs again, right? And it could have been a bullish week, and at the same time, it could have went lower. But regardless of what happens, if we're gonna be bullish or bearish, playing with the probabilities, we're gonna need to go to like discount Monday's range, right? So at least look to go to discount, right? To rebalance Monday's range because it was way too parabolic of a run, right? If we're just looking at the 15-minute, we had genuinely no discount. Like every time we went up, right? We had no discount, right? From this whole range, if you keep down it, we have not gone to discount. So discount this range was here, and then you're gonna keep adding to it until 9:30. So was 9:30. Alright, listen, I'm not trying to do it replay. Let's just keep it quick, right? Until 9:30. That's where our discount is. So market actually had to kind of come down there or kind of make a new range. Regardless, it had to dump, right? Because we have Asia sell side, London sell side, the 7 a.m. sell side. So there was a bunch of targets, right? So let's just quickly um line up this day real quick, right? So I'm not gonna count this low, and let's just count this low, right? All of these, and if we come down to the 1 minute, it was obvious that we have a high chance of opening and just dumping straight away, right? It could be to here and preferably to down here, right? And on the regular trading hours, as you can see, we open even in the premium and then we come down and close instantly. So that's just perfect. We have SMTs, we have whatever, right, to confirm the 9:30. If you're in QT, same thing, right? Done. So the market actually shoots down first, right? Gets this, and then shoots all the way up, making the SMTs here and visiting our first presented fair value gap at 7, right? Right there. As you can see, bodies are not even closing above the midpoint after 9:30 right here, and then shoots down again. That again is its own confirmation. On the 1 minute, there's no entry, but if you had the 15-second up, it's Tuesday, right? If you had this 15-second up, you would see that we have made an order block, leaving inside it a balanced price range with 2 candles right here to the wick, right? Which you could enter on this, allowing for this, and stop loss up here, or if you want to be even safer, somewhere here, or you could just even have it up to the high. Regardless of how you'd like to enter, the entry is there on the 15-second. Preferably, let's just put this, and it's probably going to be on a 30-second. I have not checked it properly. Yeah, you'd have missed this entry, right? Regardless, it's a quick entry, right? Like, it happens in just 1 minute, and then you need to be locked in for the second minute to get it in, or on the 1 minute, if you waited, right? We come back. We come back, make this order block. You could be aggressive and just enter. Is it even gonna offer this? Midpoint or even the low of the order block really on the wick, which is again leaving a balanced price range on the 1 minute. It's doing the same thing right here, and I'm guessing it's not gonna come back to it. Yeah, it's just gone. Anyway, TP1, TP2, and finally TP3 inside all the new weekly opening gaps. I explained this day in detail in like my other video, my last video. I'm pretty sure it was on Tuesday. I explained it really in detail why it did it exactly what it did. But all you need to know, basic stuff, is it needed to go back to the new weekly opening gap, within nested with another new weekly opening gap and the discount of Monday's range. Then how does the day close? What do we do since we get here? Is what's gonna entail what we're gonna do for the week. That's why I prefer to wait for Monday, right? And then to know what's gonna happen, right? So now this, when it closes like this, right? Just gonna get rid of the replay. Now, once we see this, right? Once we see this on the daily, really quickly, what does this say? Monday went up, Tuesday wicked it up slightly, and then went down, right? Very close to Monday's low. What does that look like in terms of weekly structures, right? Or weekly, how do you say it? How the weekly candle is gonna play out, right? We already had our manipulation. If we already had our manipulation on Tuesday, from what ICT teaches, is that not a classic sell or buy week, right? Clearly, this is a classic sell week, potentially could be, which means tomorrow, Wednesday, we're looking for shorts, right? And Thursday, looking for shorts, and Friday to get back in the range. That's one of them. Or we could have this to go down, Wednesday go down, Thursday go up, then Friday. There's couple of them, but this is just close to the classic sell week. Regardless, this information we're just gonna use that. Hey, tomorrow, Wednesday, we should dump, right? We should have we are more likely on probability we should go visit sell side, right? What's sell side for Wednesday? Well, we have Monday low and we have Tuesday low, relatively equal. Perfect. What are we looking for in discount, right? Well, we have this wick, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I did not look at this wick extensively or even anything, but there could be something used for it, so we're just gonna see from now, right? Regardless, don't need all of this, right? I just want to see what price was doing and where it was at in terms of London. Then we'll go back to OTE at 7 and then we'll dump down. Right. So this day, this day, this day was one of them weird ones, right? Because yes, we dumped down all this range, and that's low-key my fault for checking ES, right? I did still want us to have a bit of a rebalance, but I did forget that this, right? And okay, let's make it more obvious on a 15-minute. This is a balanced price range, right? Anything above this new weekly opening gap is technically a balanced price range, right? And I'm referring really to like this area, right? So where is our new range? Right there, right? And if we're just gonna go to discount, right? We are already at discount. So you could even look at the OTE of this range if we've reached it. And you can see we did reach the OTE of the range. And that's what I missed. I was trying to count this whole range. That's why I was willing to allow price to go up to here, which is genuinely stupid looking at it now, right? And even so, right? In the ES, right? ES didn't really make that much of a balanced price range. And that's why ES, well, I'm just gonna count it from here, has gone to its discount, even if you want to do the whole range. ES at the time of 9:30 was at discount. If NQ is weak, as we said, it's not gonna visit the balanced price range. It does not need to. It's just gonna go discount to its current range. And that was my mistake, right there. So that gave me the conflicting bias for the day of, yes, I'm looking for shorts, but we could go higher first to go lower, right? And there was the garbage price action. 9:30 opens up, we shoot down, right? Making our first presented and then making relative equal lows. Okay, now that's perfect. I'm looking at it like, okay, we're definitely gonna get here today, right? This low is gonna get taken today, and this low eventually, right? They're both gonna get taken today. And mind you, I know this just looks small, but like the ranges are not small. This is 200 points, right? 200 points is not a joke, right? Like if we're just gonna do numbers, okay, but I'm just not calculate it. That's like, let's say one contract is around 4K, right? These are not small ranges, and that's what I mean. Like, yes, the candles might look thingy, but it's large ranges this price is moving in. Regardless, we come down, and then we seemed like we were gonna go up. Why would I want price to just go up slightly, or even like, let's say, make some sort of manipulation here, whatever, which it seemed extreme then, but like with how price was moving, I was not putting anything past it, right? We have this opening range and we had like this buy side, right? I want to see that we're gonna explode the opening range, or otherwise, in my rules, in my head that I know, if we don't visit even the lower quadrant, let's say, of the opening range by 10, where's 10? Right there, we are very likely to have a large opening range day, right? I mean, a large range day, right? This might not seem like, I mean, it is moving down, but it's genuine garbage price action the way that it's moving down. Like, you need to understand this. If price is going to go all the way lower down here, why would it be up here and again and again, right? Like, let's say you're in this short, right? First presented, it's done this, right? Boom, you took the inverse, going down, going down. Why would it in one candle go back against you 100 points plus? See what I'm saying? Just to go down here and then, like, come on. Like, you cannot tell me this is just not garbage price action. I'm sorry. Yes, like, you could. How big of a stop loss do you want to have? You know what I'm saying? 100 points plus, and you still not enough of a stop loss. It's just garbage, right? So that's what I'm saying. On the big, large liquidities, right, which it was meant to go for, right, and just go for small 150 points, whatever trades, right? Anyway, on this Wednesday, this is the garbage day that I lost my account. Like, half of it was my fault, and the other half was, I guess, the internet fault for not closing the limit, right? I came down to a loss, and then I was just trying to carry it. I was right on the direction, I was right on everything, but these large pullbacks got to me, and my psychology was not locked in. Regardless, moved on. I got the day right, technically, but I couldn't execute on it properly. And again, that's literally the last thing that I'm working on, psychology. Once that's done, I'm chilling, right? Because all my trades were perfect. I took that short. Um, the only reason I didn't take this short, literally, the only reason is the same play, right? I'm looking to be short, actually, especially after that we came down below the first presented and this inverse that was holding price. Like, if we really need to like highlight it, as you can see, it was holding price. We closed below it. Once we close, like I took both confirmation, not just the first one. Once we closed below the first presented as well, I was looking for the short. The only reason I didn't is cause Friday. Last Friday, right? Because I do take this type of trade. But last Friday was not nice to me about it, right? It was the same thing, basically, right? And I'm looking at this, right? With this whole range with the volume imbalance. Same thing, we had to go for the liquidity at the bottom. I'm looking for this, or I'm looking for like at least the midpoint of it. And look at the garbage price action. We come down, make a nice fair value gap. We break this, I guess, the structure or whatever you want to call it. Boom, entry, right? And I genuinely, cause like just confident of it, I kind of just leave it for a second and then come back to see that the stop loss got hit, and I'm there like confused, cause I rarely see this fail unless that have something wrong and like price would genuinely want to go up. But as you can see, eventually it did the same thing and went lower again, and then went higher again, and then eventually actually went to my target. But you know what I'm saying? Garbage price action. That's the only reason that I did not just enter on that. Anyway, I'm gonna outweigh the reasons why and why not, and if it just hits the stop loss, it's a whatever garbage day. But this was bread and butter. I'd take it any other day. It's just I don't know. I hesitated because my last Friday, as you can see, it's technically the same thing. It's just you know market being the market. Sometimes it wants to work, sometimes it's just garbage. But what I noticed, and this is why I'm never just gonna trade it on laptop again, is yes, the structure might be similar on the 1 minute, however, on the 15 second, there is nothing similar, right? On the 15 second, this is pretty obvious that even if I want to move stop loss or anything, I could go break even so fast on a 15 second because of the structure. On that 1 minute right there, I could have went break even as well, but on the 15 second, but I could not see it on the 1 minute to go break even, right? And yeah, so anyway, anytime I'm trading again, and as you can see that we'll just tag the new daily opening gap low, kept going lower from that, 15 seconds can show you a lot of many things, right? So that's why again, never trading without my setup, right? Regardless if I'm abroad or whatever, right? If I don't have a setup, I can't see everything. No trade. Alright, moving on. Next day. We understood this day. We understood what it's gonna do. But again, garbage price action, a lot of back and forth in large ranges. I'm talking about 100, 150, 200 points pullback, right? to the point, guys. I don't know if you ever seen a New York like this. Have you seen a New York session with no 15-minute fair value gap? Look at all this back and forth, back and forth, back. Not a single one except this one, right? At lunch. In terms of delivering to price, but in to get to price, there is, I mean, the objective this low, right? This low is like, let's say TP2, right? This was mainly the objective for the day. These are just like the early New York session, right? This low did not have a single displacement on the 15-minute, guys. How garbage that is. It's not that this is beyond high resistance liquidity run. It is beyond it, right? High resistance liquidity run can be at least somehow predictable. This is just straight garbage. Alright, there's this price action. Now, it looks like if we come back down on the daily again, and I know I'm rushing through this, and I know there's like not too much technicals, but the technicals were kind of there, and it was still kind of iffy and messy. But at this point, it's just a recap for changing the way of kind of execution for me, right? And why? Because it's just garbage price action. This is genuinely why. Like, I haven't seen price action being this garbage ever, basically, for me. And that's why, due to the lack of my experience, I guess. But this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just be very, very nimble, right? Very, very nimble, right? Just trying to get points. I don't even care about if it's going to the liquidity. As long as I'm on the right direction, just get this certain amount of points, I'm good for the day. Because otherwise, it's very likely to run up against you and break all the PD arrays. It doesn't care. Anyway, Wednesday done. Thursday. Now, what's the most likely objective? This volume imbalance, right? On the daily. We can use this to go back up or just something, right? So I don't know anything yet. So let's just go on the 15-minute, right? So once we go on the 15-minute and we're just looking at structure, right? Right there, right? We're just looking at structure. Can we actually just go back? Let's actually go back because this is actually kind of important, right? There we're at 9. Perfect. If we're just looking at structure, we haven't really moved, right? We haven't really moved. And we can see we kind of have a consolidation. We're trying to find like an original consolidation for that, like the mini market structure. We can just do like right here, right? Like this general area, right? So we can say this is original consolidation, and this is just gonna be a market maker buy model, right? We know that we could go and take these highs, or we could go to, well, the midpoint of the 705, right, for the OTE. Okay, so if this comes out to be true on this first stage distribution, second stage, and we are gonna have a smart money reversal, right? Then, and let me just 1 second. Just want to check this volume imbalance real quick. It's marked out properly. Right. Okay. So, coming into the day, right? In terms of where is Thursday gone? Right. Coming into the day, we can see that we, right? We have went to the top of the volume imbalance. Which, if you can like look at it, you could be like, this is smart money reversal, right? Like first stage, second stage, and this is smart money reversal. Nope, 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 nope. Why? Because it's not time. Yes, we hit the top of it, but it's not time, right? That's the most important thing. It's not time, right? 7:48, nope. And we just accumulate. And then at 9:30, we are so close to this low and this low. What does that mean? This is very obvious 930 dump manipulation, right? And this is one of the typical ways to like catch a reversal for New York, because this is how many times, right? I know this day failed, but many times this day will open on New York like this, very close to an objective, very close to a PD array, right? And then it will just start reversing on the whole day and it will take all these highs, right? But hey, we're in a bearish market, so you can't expect all that. So once we open down here, and I took this on like paper, right? Because after messing up and just blowing a whole account, need to chill out. Took this on paper. Once price was dropping down at 931 down here, I was buying up and buying up all the way till midpoint, right? I'm buying up. And as you can see, what did price stop? Midpoint. Perfect, right? Goes up. Goes. If you're aggressive, you could take this order block. Not me, on my actual accounts, and this is how I would take the trade. Seeking what? Okay. Well, we said we're gonna seek, we even if we want to go lower, right? You need to work out two things, right? Even if we want to go lower, what is price gonna do, right? And you just want to work it out that way. Let me just remember, what do I have highlighted here at the time, right? That was not the 4-hour gap at the time. It's pre-creation. All right, what do we have, right? And as I said, if we're just gonna mark like the original consolidation, like let's say that box, we want to go to discount, right? That's just in general. So TP1 discount, we have the 8 a.m. high, right? Between 7 to 9:30. This is the highest high. All right, TP1. Second is discount, right? So that's under it. So we're still gonna target this. Then we have a gap, right, above, and then we could have our OTE level. And then beyond that, if we don't displace above it, which means we're not gonna go to these highs, then you close the trade, right? So the trade as follows. We come back down to the midpoint of the daily volume imbalance. What are you gonna do? We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait for what? This specific model, right, is the order block. This specific one at 9:30, when 9:30 just shoots, it's normally gonna be 1 to like 5 minutes max of a manipulation, and it's just gonna rally back up. Is the order block. The order block could be here and it could be here. Like it could be, regardless. It has to be the right order block, right? Once you find it, and that just depends on experience, you're just gonna wait for the order block to hit. And it's better to have other confluences, right? You're gonna have, what's this? This is the first presented fair value gap. We have an inverse fair value gap right there, right? The one that goes to take this, and we have our main order block. So you just have a buy limit here, stop loss. This is the largest wick, right? I'm gonna look at the midpoint of it, and then slightly lower, just covering this whole series of blocks for the breaker block, right? Allowing for the whole inverse, and just because this market is volatile, right? And as you can see, that entry, and I took both the entries on the demo. As you can see, I can't bloody wait. I can trade, but I don't have psychology. Garbage. That was more, that was almost 200 points, 190. But as I said, I'm just gonna max my trades to 150 points, and you can see it's easily gonna get the 150 points, right? And then after that, of course, the same logic for shorts was there, right? After this inverse, right, we close. You could just take like, I'm not gonna explain the shorts, but the better play for me personally, I would say it was the long for this day, regardless if we're gonna go lower. As you can see, because sometimes if we haven't seek discount, you're gonna play the long or the short, whatever which one that looks more explosive to get to discount, and after that, you're either gonna catch the manipulation, which this was the manipulation, followed by the distribution. And in this garbage market, I do not want the distribution, because look at this garbage. All of this is short apparently distribution. I'm good. I'm just gonna catch manipulation in this type of market. That's what I'm gonna be seeking. Anyway, ending off on Friday, and this is why there's still annotations here. Market has its distribution, right? Eventually it'll close right here. Yes, garbage delivery, but it went to where it should go to, right? So if we just zoom out on the daily, get into this sell side, and first of all, closing below this volume imbalance is just questionable, right? Regardless, because we shouldn't be doing that. But the main thing is, are we gonna get to this low? It's very unlikely, right? I would just say it's very unlikely, but I would have the quadrants marked in case, right? And if we get to the low, again, the whole play for Friday is getting back to the range, right? We're looking for TGIF, we're looking for whatever, right? So the low has a wick, right? We're gonna have that marked. We can see that price stops at the CE, right? And this is genuinely at the star market open. So if we carry on, we can see that price keeps going higher, keeps going higher, keeps going higher, right? And it's better to look at it in 15 minutes. And yes, it's going higher, offering discount, going higher, offering discount, going higher, offering discount, sweep, boom, that's a London low, right? So this low, I do not at all expect it to be taken, right? I'm looking for longs, right? But on the 4 hour, when I came to the day, and let me just show you exactly how it looked, right? To show the game plan. This was our 6 candle printing up, right? 6, like that's gonna close at 10. The game plan was obvious. If we don't visit this 4 hour fair value gap, right? And just close to make clear. If we don't visit it by 10 and we stall in, then I'm gonna look to take the long to go higher. If we go up first, then I'm gonna look for a short, depending on what happens. But I'm still gonna look for the short, regardless that I'm bullish for the day, and I'm expecting us to, like, I don't know, take these highs, visit this gap, something, right? Like we could just keep going higher. I don't care, but this is all I want. We go down to this four. I'm seeking internal range, liquidity, and whatever. As you can see, we go up first, right? And then we take every buy side liquidity for our previous day, right? We take every buy side liquidity for our previous day. What does that mean? That means in terms of regular trading hours, as you can see, everything has been taken. We fill more of the opening range gap of last last day, which is Thursday. And on electronic, as you can see from Asia, we're just taking every buy side. Asia buy side taken, London buy side taken, right? New York, like 7, like pre-session 7 to 9:30 taken, right? And then previous day AM high, right there, has been taken, right? Not previous day Thursday, like that's beyond it. I'm talking at AM high, and that's maximum, because from AM to AM session we have taken that high. And as you can see, what do? We fill the opening range gap. And there was 2 trades here, and that's why I have a few things marked, right? First thing first is I took the short on demo again because of my garbage price. I mean, psychology. Yeah, cooking accounts. I'm seeing these relative equal lows, and I'm seeing these lows here, and like there's bunch of lows, right? I'm seeing that market is respecting this gap, and it happens to be the first presented fair value gap after also a market structure shift that causes market structure shift after 7, right? So I'm watching what price does with it. Boom, boom. I take the short, stop loss at the high, and then I'm letting it wait for 9:30 open, and I think I moved the TP on this gap, right? Just a quick demo trade. Bang, hits it, boom. Right, that's just me waiting for market open. Now, market opens, we're looking for discount, right? And typically, I take the whole range, right? I don't need to be very what do you call accurate with it because it typically uses the whole range, but sometimes it would genuinely just use the mini range. So like if you use the actual range that we left that we didn't go to discount to, we went up, gone to discount, we went up, gone to discount, and this is the final one that had the parabolic run. As you can see, I always looked if I'm going long, I'm looking for discount, then liquidity. So that's the discount and that's the liquidity. And we're gonna have a PDA right there that I'm not gonna bother to check. Right? Boom, that's the reaction, that's the mini manipulation, gone. Right? Too quick, missed it. But as you can see, referring to my demo trade earlier, I can see that the first presented regardless that we have went above this on closing basis. We were struggling, now we're not. What does that mean? We are gonna look for the highs, this high and this high, and this bunch of other highs. If we just go on regular trading hours, yeah, this high and this high is left, right? On top of that, the 4 hour fair value gap, which means I could be long here to it, which is unfavorable. Why? Because this gap range is a bit excessive, right? That's one. And second, there's not much range left to the liquidity because it could stop here or it could stop at the liquidity, right? It could make relative equal highs, then drop, and then comes back to it, whatever. It's better for me to take the short because this range is already too big. But I was looking at what could be an option and I said an upper quadrant fill of it would be nice. I would still not take it because my stop loss would kind of have to be for, right? Just knowing how this market is moving, my stop loss is going to be kind of further than I like, maybe somewhere here. And I don't like this range. That's too much range for me to be even in a trade. So I'm just going to let it go and go short. As you can see, we have the upper quadrant, go all the way back. Now visit the second discount, which is this. Go all the way up. Boom. Right there. That's my short. Once we go up, we don't close, not even on the 1 minute above the 4 hour gap. Boom, shoot below it, close right below, and tag this as a change in state of delivery. I'm just marking the volume imbalance. I enter on the volume imbalance short, and again, demo again, right? Because I genuinely banned myself after that Wednesday because I should not be losing accounts at this stage. That hey, get the fuck back on demo until you sort out your psychology. So that's my short. I take this short, and why am I looking for shorts regardless, right? Because one, that's the game plan from the start, like I said, and two, where's the target? I don't even have a target, right? Like genuine external range, I don't have an external range. I only have internal range as a target, right? I'm looking at this 5 minute fair value gap to just go into, right? Because we don't have sell side. This is not sell side. And on ES, I can see that we left relative equal lows. So when they typically do that, even though they're not going to get to it, it's going to still need to come back down, right? Because even ES didn't even visit against the first presented fair value gap, right? So I don't have a target. I just know it's going to go lower. It's one of them. It's one of them ones that AO aim for points. And as you can see, that is the 150 points, right? That's all I want. And boom, it hits the 150 points. You know, it's just I'm just waiting for ES really to hit the first villain. I'm not gonna lie. Once ES does that, it's done, right? That's done. It's gonna go lower, right? And then after that, it's gonna want to go higher, but it could even visit this low again Even though I don't see it as sell side yet because we're too early. It'd probably be sell side past 11:30, right? And if we're close to it, and then again visiting this 4 hour now. As you can see, it just doesn't matter. And look at this garbage price action. We come down, we come up, we come down, we come up, and then eventually, we go up higher, right? We use this as an inverse, kind of making relative equal lows. I would like to sweep first to kind of confirm, like go slightly more into it, right? But hey, kind of using this as, I guess, a mitigation block. Regardless, this is too late in the session. I don't care. All I know is these were the highs that were the target, and once that was reached, was that reached as a final hour macro? Yes, it actually was. So that's a short right there. If I was looking for a short, I didn't get anything, and I would seek this gap. I would what is it? Where's the gap below liquidity? Honestly, I'd be seeking points at this point as well. It's one of them ones. How much points did it offer? Final hour macro 75 points. I'm looking for, and that's it. And how much does it offer? It offers 100. So yeah, garbage market. It's just simple as that. Market is garbage. Chill out with your trading, right? Be Try to take like one accurate shots here and there, right? Try miss more days than trades. I'm not gonna lie. That's what I'm gonna try. Like, yo, Tuesday, if I miss something, don't care. Like, let's say I missed this dump. Like, initially, I didn't catch it. That's it. Just close. There's no point. Wednesday. What did Wednesday do? Yeah, Wednesday. Yo, if I took the loss, garbage. Don't, like, if I take a loss, right? I'm just gonna stick to this now. It's like, yo, one trade a day. If I lose, GG. If I win, GG. Just close, right? It doesn't matter, right? And I'm regardless of the trade, I'm just going full risk. There's no like half risk in this. Maybe I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Full risk each trade, right? Like I worked it out. It's the better, right? That should sort my psychology because sometimes I'm trying to catch way more points, and it's not because of greed. It's because I've entered such low amount of contract because my target is so far, and I'm kind of basing it on the target. So no full risk, just points, blah blah blah. Anyway, I feel like this video is way too long now. But yeah, that's the market recap for the week. It's a garbage week. It's not impossible to trade. It's just challenging. There's a lot of waiting to it. There's a lot of faking out. And if you ask me, what the hell do I expect for next week? I'm not even gonna lie, we're still in our range, but I do still expect lower price action, right? I don't think we're done going lower, right? And this is just funny, right? Keeping it relatively equal. In terms of ES, we did have a kind of a sweep. I do expect ES to make higher high. I'm pretty sure. I think ES will might make a higher high, right? And then we're still gonna go lower, right? And that will be kind of our SMT to go lower, right? We might even visit the order block or this. What? Why is this so messy? Right? We might even visit the wick here, right? We have this suspension block that I'm gonna be looking at for this next week when we open up. So there's a lot of stuff, and we could go back into the range and consolidate again. I don't know. I don't care. This market is genuinely garbage. Let's just keep repeating it. It's genuinely garbage. But yeah, this is the market recap. Peace out.